Mama Africa, your children are home.
So everyone knows the stereotypes that comes with being African American or called a black so and so, quote unquote. In America, everything is really bad. If you can think of anything bad, it's associated with being black or African American. Oh, high robbery or drugs, end up in jail. Awful health, awful everything.
Lower social everything,
in my public health, one of my public health class, they were asking of these public health issues, socioeconomic problems. Who was on the bottom of the list? Every single issue was, oh, black African American, black African, oh, diseases, oh, black African American. Anything bad was black African American, and then maybe then it rises up there. And then if you're there, is white is the best one. So why won't anyone want to be white? You see what I mean? Now, why are people saying that is a culture, or that is their ethnicity, that they're embracing that?
But here's the thing. What do you tell someone who's like, wait, if you take that away from me, right? Here I've just come to the point where I'm proud of myself. I'm proud of my blackness. I'm proud of my skin. I'm proud of this. So what are you telling me about saying you're taking away the only term that I hold dear now? I've come to hold it dear. So what would you say to someone like that?
I'm saying there's nobody in this world that is black, nobody in this world that is white. We need to reject both terms, both white and both black, because of what they mean. They mean the most opposite, and one is always good and one is always bad. So why would you want to embrace that and call yourself that when in reality it's just a label that they placed during segregation times, when in the reality no one is... You're a shade of brown or something, and a shade of some kind of beige to pink to pale pink, So that's if you want to stick a skin tone, that's what we are. There's no such person as white or black. So why are we embracing that term? Like, it's not a term to be embracing because of what it means. You can never change the meaning of it.
The history of something is deep, because the thing is, who put that label on you to begin with? You might be taking it and saying, yeah, this is me now. Yeah. That's fine. If you want that term, you can take it. Yeah. But just know that term, because it was created by others for a group that they have put you in to begin with, sometimes from birth, depending on which state you're in, even, which is crazy in itself. But imagine the people who created that term, those young, they're not ancestors, the opposite of ancestor, their progeny, their children, etc., going down the line, they still have that sense that, oh, this is what black means, right? So they have a category that they've created over hundreds and hundreds of years, and that category has, modified over time, etc. Everyone has a slightly different category, but there are people who will see you, and especially if you take the word black, they'll say, oh, wow, that's associated with this category. Yeah. And that is something that I've noticed African Americans, they don't quite understand. And I don't mean in a negative way. I just mean it's hard to understand when lighter-skinned Americans say, oh, wow, I don't even see you as black. And they take that personally and say, wait a minute, what does that mean? And what it means for those people who say that, it's that they have in their head this category that's very negative, right? Associated with African Americans. Or not even negative. Maybe it's just they're different, they're weird. Maybe they're into rap and saggy pants, and maybe they're into some drugs and stuff like that. Whatever. They have a category that is basically negative. And they see you and they're saying, I don't see you as black. To them, that's an actual positive. They're actually saying that's a good thing, right? You're not associated with this terrible category that's in my mind of what black is. You see what I mean? So even if you take that term and say, I'm going to own this, I'm sorry, but there is hundreds of years of terrible, terrible things associated with those terms, because that term itself was created by a system that pushed slavery, right? That pushed segregation and stuff like that.
And the thing about being trying to embrace the word black or something is, go back to the definition. I suppose you go back to say, I can say black is as black does. You see what I mean? All the definition, like everything bad associated with it. The more people call you that name, the more you start acting like it, the more you start becoming it.
Oh, I see what you're saying, Which is
and then the more people call you white and you embrace that, the more, I need to be nice for the society because, I
need to represent. I need to represent.
So
I see what you're saying.
We have to reject both.
And for those of you who are watching this, who embrace the term black, etc., etc., who say, no, this is who I am, this is what that's fine, you can do that, you know, just know that you're going to be seen very negatively by a lot of people, and just know that you're going to face that. And when someone says, wow, I don't even see you as black, they're meaning that in a very good way, and know why that is and where that's coming from. But again, if you want to embrace that term, that's absolutely fine. It's your choice. You know, you can absolutely do that. You can take it, you can try to turn it around, you know, go for it. If that's what you really want to do, go for it. For me, from my side, I'm going to reject the white term. I'm going to reject any racial term that someone tries to put on me, try to categorize me as something that's different, whether it's good, whether it's bad, positive, negative, whatever. I'm rejecting it because I'm human and I want to be treated human, as an equal. You know, there's no race in this world. When it comes to humans, there's only one race, the human race, right? And we're all the same. So, I think one of the reasons why this is so deep to us and why we actually came to these sort of realizations is because of our lovely, beautiful children. Elenita.
Right.
I mean, what do you call them? They speak Spanish from birth. Are they Hispanic? You know, they have an African mother. They have a very, I don't know what people would call me, European-ish American mutt for a father, you know, like... What do you call that?
Yeah, they try to place them demographically, even right at the hospital.
They try.
What can we call your child? What race is your child? I mean, they get to choose what they want to be called.
No, they don't get to choose.
When they grow up.
That's the thing. They tried to say that. We said from the get-go, like, if you're wanting any demographics for our children, no. And they said, no, we want your demographics. And I'm like, well, we're not going to put our demographics. Like,
human. We put human.
Yeah, human, homo sapiens, whatever you want to call it.
The funny thing is every time I go in for baby checkup or a prenatal checkup.
In the U.S.
In the U.S., in the doctor's office, they look at me, they change my demographic to African American black. And I see it. I see my paperwork later on at the end of the day. I say, please, can you change that? And decline and put human there, human race. And they will do it. The next following appointment, the lady will look at me again, put it in, and I see it again.
Change it. They're like, this is empty. Let's put this in. Even though it says rejected. Declined. Yeah.
So I think it's happened about 6 times where I tell them change to, and I keep complaining to them, why are they calling me what I'm not? They're like, oh, sorry about that. We will put decline. Next time it will happen again. So they look at me.
You look at your chart, there it is again, black. And you're like,
why?
Did I not decline this? Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I mean, for me, for example, going in, I didn't bring one of my daughters with me. But I was going into the hospital to like establish her for something. I think I had to get, I forgot what it was. Yeah. And they immediately put on her chart white. They didn't see her. They didn't see me. It doesn't even matter. Like, why do you look at someone and only go skin deep, you know? And that's another big point.
That's a big problem.
I mean, I know we're kind of going everywhere, but there's so many points that it's so complex. But if you think about it, like, let's say you think black is an okay term. Let's say you think white is an okay term. Let's say you think muzungu, oyibo, all these terms. You think that they're okay, like neutral terms, right? Let's say. Well, let's say they're just describing a group. Well, that's an issue in itself, like we said, you know, because every time someone uses a term, they have a whole set of characteristics that they associate with that term, whether it's positive or negative, right, or in between. There's a whole set of characteristics. So that's an issue in itself. They're saying to you immediately, I'm categorizing you in this group, right? So that's problematic in itself. Yeah. But even if we leave that aside, right, and we just say, oh, they're just demographics. So even if you just say, oh, it's just demographics, which is kind of BS, right? But let's say you just put that aside. Well, you still have the fact that, for example, in my case here, walking through town, you know, the neighbors calling out Muzungu, Muzungu. It's like, okay. They spot a Muzungu, right? You're Muzungu spotting, right? It's like bird spotting. It's kind of like animal watching. It's a little bit weird in that case, even if they're saying, oh, angel, we spotted an angel, right? It's still weird because it's like, I'm a human. I'm not better or worse than you. Like, I'm just a human. So it's a little weird to begin with. And it's like, hey, but especially if it's my neighbors, imagine if they do that every single day. Or they'll say, even to show even more respect, they might even say muzee, which is like old man, right? Which is very respectful. And I'm like, whoa, I'm not muzee. Like, don't call me that. Like, I'm not better than you. Like, this is, and it wasn't until you told me just a moment ago, like, making that connection is white privilege. I'm like, that's what this is, you know? And it's terrible.
Goes back, they will see
goes back to colonialism.
They would think, you are higher there, have the money, and have.
Right. I've heard them describe it to me.
You say that.
They're like, don't be upset at Muzungu. They'll be like, don't be upset at Muzungu. It's a good term.
Yeah.
It means you're like pure and higher and better and wealthy and all these things.
Now,
and I'm like,
now do we see why we need to be rejecting this, right? Yeah. Like it being called either white or black Muzungu or whatever terms, or being called
for
black.
The health of the society.
Yeah, because if people are calling you that, there are thousands of other people who are angry, saying you have two heads. What do you have that I don't have? Why do you get to be higher there?
Why is it
I want to be
better?
like that too. I want to be higher up there.
Right.
That could cause a lot of problems, even between friends with different skin tones. If you're calling one, oh yeah, I want Muzungu or whatever, and the other ones are down below there.
Like inevitably asking for money and coming to me for money, or even robbing people like me, simply because they think in the mind it's like this category is wealth, right? It's just the idea that, oh, they have more than I do, so I might as well take it from them, or I might as well ask them for it, or whatever, that sort of thing.
So
even in the US,
that's why we all need to be speaking up and rejecting that terms and rejecting being called something that you are not, something that you're higher than everyone else, or you're lower, and you reject both. Like, this is not me. That's not who I am. Why are you calling me that? Stop calling me that.
I have heard a lot of African Americans say that in the US, like, this isn't going to change until people with lighter skin stop embracing the term white. Like, we got to get rid of this idea of whiteness, purity, all this kind of stuff. We got to get rid of that first. We've got to absolutely do away with it, reject it. People have to be rejecting that stuff. Then we will have a better playing field. Because right now, there's not really any. It's like you're either that or what's better than that? There's nothing better than that.
Exactly.
Where do you go from there? Everything is less. Everything is worse.